crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadroad.com. With your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga tea, decaffeinated. Yes, we are in the smoothie week of the raw food reboot. Feeling good. I think I dropped like 9 pounds. I'm going to drop 20, maybe 25 in the next couple days. Weeks. Fine weeks. But it feels good to be back on the straight and narrow after hunkering down for COVID and thinking I had to bulk myself up to live through the winter. I don't know. But yeah, eating raw food is very refreshing, shall we say. All right. Just a reminder today at 12 noon at my friend JC's YouTube channel. It is Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic. Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic right here. We have a roundtable discussion on silver with a couple of heavyweights, David Morgan and Chris Marcus, along with myself and JC. We're talking silver the whole time, but there is nothing that's going to be held back from this. Nothing. So we can go down a conspiracy route. We can go down the spiritual route. We can go down the economic route. We can go down the JP Morgan route. You name it, we're going to talk about it. And it should be very interesting. 12 o'clock today at Beyond Mystic. Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic. 12 o'clock, that's Pacific Coast time. 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then it will be posted for everyone to watch. Let's get into it. By the way, silver, it's a huge week for silver. Probably the biggest week in silver's history. Why? Because it's the last week to trade before this monster delivery coming up. The delivery beyond deliveries. It is not designed to be the bank killer, mind you. They want the system to continue to function. Whether or not it will, I don't know. What will the silver price be if the banks aren't there to short it anymore? Because they were the only ones shorting. Mind you, they were the only ones shorting. At 1 billion ounces a day, they were the only ones shorting. They, meaning a handful of bullion banks, less than 8. Were the only ones shorting. So if they're getting out, having to get out, forced to get out, because they've been rigging the markets, who's going to take their place? I don't know anybody who would sell their silver right now. I know a lot of people who want to buy. I don't know anybody who would sell. So that's where we're headed. The last trading day is Thursday. Silver's hanging at 27. I do expect a slam crash at any moment this week. Fine, whatever. And then next week, more slam crashes. After, I think it's smooth sailing after September. Why next week? Because they got to get the metal if they're going to deliver some of this stuff. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think the deliveries will be over 20,000 contracts, which is, 100 million ounces of physical silver delivered. That's a lot. It could be more. There's about 60,000 contracts in open interest. So in the next 4 days, they got to get rid of 40,000, 10,000 a day. Can they do that? Yeah, they can close them out and take huge losses. Or they can somehow slam the price down and get people to panic. But who the hell in their right mind would panic right now? Nobody's sane would panic. They can run stops, shit like that. So just hang on. You're going to have to hang on through the rest of this month and through September before the really exciting stuff happens. And what I mean by really exciting is the true fair market value of silver will have to be determined at some point. Nobody knows what it is. I've said it a million times. 150 years of price suppression. Ever since the Opium Wars. And get your head around this. In the mid-1850s, England was losing all its silver. England, we own the world, England. Was losing all their silver because all the elite and all the people in England were really enthralled with goods coming out of China. Silks and teas and porcelains, all kinds of stuff. But the only thing they could exchange it for was silver because China was on a silver standard. And so was England. So all the money that was needed for England was running out of England and going into China. So what does England do? Of course, they set up an operation where they set up HSBC as a Hong Kong Shanghai bank as a bank to facilitate the opium trade, to get the Chinese hooked on opium. So the Chinese government said, how dare you do that? And it started a war. That was the beginning of silver price suppression. The price has been suppressed ever since, most of it by the Pilgrim Society. If you've ever heard of Charles Savoy, look into his work. Don't ever contact him. There's your warning. He's a little eccentric, shall we say. I won't even go there. But his research is unparalleled, so go check that out. Yeah, and yes, absolutely. Silver has been manipulated and rigged and price suppressed for what is that now? About 170, 180 years. That's the kind of beach ball underwater we're going to see fire up when silver is allowed to trade freely. And silver is allowed to trade freely coming the next couple months, or maybe even weeks. Can you imagine? You get to sit here and watch the end of 170 years of price suppression. That's pretty cool. Congratulations. You're in the right place at the right time. Only if you have silver in your own possession. I believe they will close down the SLV. I believe they will close down the COMEX. I believe they will close down a lot of exchanges, including the New York Stock Exchange. Why? Because they're rehypothecating all the shares. It's a complete fraud. It's fake. Until they can fix it, it might just have to shut down. So we're at a point where the only thing matters is your protection. Your protection financially is silver in your own possession. If you have gold, lucky you. Go down to your store today, swap that gold for as much silver as you can get your hands on. Because if you're a private road member, on Friday I posted this, silver to go 1-to-1 after Grand Canyon gold revelations. There's so much gold in the Grand Canyon. There's so much gold coming out of the Philippines. There's so much gold in Asia. There's so much gold at Chocolate Mountain in California. There's so much gold everywhere. Not 200,000 tons, millions of tons. Now, what will that do to the gold-silver ratio? A lot of people say, well, Bix, if there's so much gold, the price will go down. No, it will not. Why? Because it's rigged. A free market trading value of gold is a hell of a lot more than $2,000. Probably in the $2 million range per ounce. Why? Because they have printed unlimited money. Unlimited money. As in, there has been no limit on the amount of money that the United States government creates and doesn't tell anybody about. That's what Ruta wrote in the sand. Print money to infinity. And that came directly from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. So yes, absolutely. Get your silver in your own possession. If you have gold, swap it today because you're going to have no time to swap it in the future. If you have gold because you like gold, what a great time to swap your gold for silver. Wait till the silver-gold ratio comes to 1-to-1 and then buy 70 times the amount of gold you have right now. If you love gold, then swap it right now for silver and then swap back when the ratio comes where it should be. Now, I think 1-to-1 is very conservative. Remember, we are working off the premise of number one, the silver price and the gold price are rigged. That's all you have to think about. Don't think about anything else. Number one, they are rigged. Every day, every trade, gold and silver are rigged. So given that gold and silver are rigged, we don't know what the price of either is. We have no idea what the fair market value of either metal is. But if it is true that these banks are getting out, that means either someone will have to take their place, like BlackRock, for example, or we will have free market trading in silver. And I don't see BlackRock yet making any big move. I don't see anybody making any big moves except the banks trying to get out of their positions. And it seems to me, it feels like they have to do it by the end of the fiscal year of the United States of America, which is the end of September. So that's where we are with your silver. We'll talk more about this on the Silver Roundtable, 3 p.m. Eastern Time today, 12 o'clock Pacific Time. Silver right now, they try to slam it down. Nothing big is happening. Why? Because no one's falling for their bullshit anymore. I mean, every 2 minutes, any day now, the charges against JP Morgan are come down. They're going to be watered down as shit. Trust me. I think JP Morgan's going to have to pay over $200 million to get out of the crimes that they committed to all the silver investors that lost billions and billions. And Ted Butler deserves the whistleblower award. If it is $200 million, I think it's, 10% they give to the whistleblower? There you go, Ted, $100 million. Wait, $10 million. Or is it 50%? I don't know, but Ted deserves it. Everybody at the CFTC should be fired, by the way. It's a criminal organization designed not to help investors, not to ensure fair market values, fair market trading, but to cover up the criminality within the U.S. government and governments around the world in rigging the price of gold and silver, and stock market and bond market and oil market and all markets. All commodity markets, it's the CFTC. The other markets, the bond market, the stock market, the SEC, which is even more corrupt. It's beyond embarrassing that my country has these kind of regulators. All right, so silver's doing well. Cryptos are doing great. Good job, cryptos. Keep it up. I've seen a couple cryptos that I have that have been dormant since the 2017 takedown by Trump and Mnuchin and Christian Carlo. I've seen a couple small cryptos show some life. Cryptos like OMG. Well, it's down a little bit right now, but look at what OMG has done in the past, let's say 7 days. 7 days has gone from $3 to $6 in 7 days. Look at the month. From $1.50 to $6. OMG is huge. Remember Club's data. People are going to say, oh my God, to OMG. OMG is a payment solution system in Asia. How many people in Asia? A buttload. How many people? They already signed contracts with McDonald's, for Christ's sake. Anybody who thinks cryptos aren't here to stay, wake up. Get out of bed. Especially the ones that do something, like OMG. They actually do something. So yes, OMG is going to go from $6 to $600. Absolutely. How fast? I don't know. The next run up, it'll probably go to $20 or $30 before the end of the year. So absolutely, that's a great investment. I would say there's just one bigger, better investment, and that's that monster of an investment, Theta. Theta is going to be the new internet, and it is going to, I believe, it will challenge Ethereum as a platform for smart contracts. They announced it this year. This year's running out, folks. Theta is going to make that announcement. And remember, a lot of the Ethereum programmers are coming over to Theta because they can program in the same language, and it's 10 times as fast as Ethereum. Just keep that in mind when you look at Theta's still way back there in the ranking, ranked 37. By next year, Theta will be in the top 5. By the end of next year, it'll be in the top 5. And that's no matter how high these go. Ultimately, Theta will most likely be number 1. If it does turn into the new internet, Theta will be number 1. Theta Fuel might even be in the top 10. Probably will be. The ratio right now, I think, is 40-1. So would I buy Theta? See, now is the time to buy Theta because you're setting up your mining operation using the Guardian node. But I know it's hard for people in the U.S. You got to use coinswitch.co is one that has Theta. You can swap it for Bitcoin or Ethereum. So it's not for the beginners. Theta is not for beginners. The other way to do it is buy it on Binance, but not the U.S. Binance because they don't, for some reason, they aren't trading it. I know the reason. Binance is the largest holder of Theta, besides Theta itself, the company. They know exactly what's going on, and they love to rig markets. So Theta will move in huge jumps and then huge pullbacks, so they get more and make more money. And they're probably right now stealing all their customers' Theta fuel because they've staked 93 million Theta, which is basically their customers' Theta. And the customers are too dumb to get their Theta off the exchange, so what does Binance do? Binance stakes it in their, it's not, they don't have a Guardian node, they have a, what's it called? A validator node. They're right here. Binance, 93 million. Oh, by the way, remember I was saying, hey, pretty soon Theta is going to hit over 500 million staked with only 870 million tokens out there. You better hurry. We've blown by 500 already at 512 million. 512.6 million staked. And, wait a minute, look at something really interesting. Right here, number 9. Someone just opened up a few days ago a new validator node with 6.6 million Theta in it. Now look at the ones right below it. Google, Samsung, Blockchain, Gummy. This one has not been identified yet. But the rumors, drum roll please, the rumors are Sony. Sony. Interesting. Although, 6.6, that's a little over $3 million. Anybody can open a validator node. Anybody who has $3 million bucks. So, you don't need $3 million. I don't know what the minimum is, but validator node is a little more complicated than a Guardian node. The easiest is buy some Theta and join the G pool under the delegate function. And holy crap, look at G pool jump to 31 million. I remember when it was hovering at 17 when I was like, okay, let's go join. Maybe that's all Road to Root people. I would love it. That's awesome. Oh, something interesting here. The Guardian node right below it, F415, 7 million has withdrawn, meaning they're probably going to want to sell about 7 million Theta. Maybe not. See, you gotta, that's the problem with nodes. When you withdraw the node, you gotta, well, depending how many wallets on it. Never mind. That's a little too complicated. But it's a pain in the ass. It takes, I think, 51 hours to get it off, which is good. We don't want people jumping in and out. So 7 million, and I expect Binance to, that 93 million is going to go down massively because that's mainly their customers' Theta. And once their customers get smart and start pulling Theta off of the network into their own possession, off of the exchanges into their own possession, out of Binance into their own possession, then you're going to see that number come down. All in all, things are looking great for Theta. I expect it to continue to move up. I do expect it at some point, within probably 5 years, to hit the Michelle White Dove number of a few $1,000s. A few $1,000s. I think that's going to hit within 5 years. And it's very easy for that to happen, given all the multiple applications for Theta. And tomorrow night, I believe it's tomorrow night, I have an interview on the Theta TV. One of the first talk shows on Theta TV I'll be interviewing. I'll let you guys know more about that when it comes up. Again, Theta doing well, Silver doing well. Road to Root people are very happy. Cryptos are doing well. Litecoin doing all right, up there at $62. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Absolutely. The question is, when do we need a means of exchange? Could be any day. I do expect some market volatility, if not shutdowns, come the middle to end of September, October timeframe, and then pure chaos hits throughout the year. So hang on to your hat. Couple other things. Quinine. Hydrochloroquine is kind of like quinine. It's like a synthetic quinine. So I stocked up on some quinine. And it's wormweed. Wormweed, I think it's called wormweed. It's an Asian remedy. They sell it in health food stores. So if your doctor won't give you any hydrochloroquine, go get some quinine. It's not the same, and you got to take it with zinc and all that, but it is built off the same design molecule, shall we say. It's so ridiculous that you could take something from nature, quinine, that has been used for thousands of years, and turn it into, mess with the chemistry of it a little bit, and then package it as an expensive and hard to get medicine. But that's what they do. That's what these assholes do, who are in charge of our lives. Talk to your doctor about prescribing hydrochloroquine if you get COVID. You got to do it early. You got to do it fast. Here, you guys can write this down. Hold on. Where is it? This is not health advice, but great letter by Dr. Vladimir Zelenko out of Monroe, New York, telling how many patients he's administered hydrochloroquine, erythromycin, and zinc. Over 200 patients, and none of them have died from COVID. None even had to go to the respirator stage. Out of 200, they've all recovered fine. And his outpatient regimen: hydroxychloroquine 200 megograms twice a day, erythromycin 500 milligrams once a day for 5 days. These are for 5 days. And zinc sulfite 220 milligrams once a day for 5 days. That's the cure that he's been using. You can rewind that and figure out what's good for you. This is not health advice. But you know who's trying to kill you and who's trying to save you. I'm trying to save you. The criminals behind the criminal cabal has turned a very important disease control potential into a political volleyball. And it's disgusting. Anyway, if you're interested in more Road to Ruta, go to roadtoruta.com. All kinds of things, including Theta, the Theta Fuel info page. If you're not a U.S. citizen, I have a video on the private road, how to buy Theta on Binance if you are not a U.S. citizen. It has to go all the way to the foreign exchange, but you can do that from the U.S. It does take some computer skill. If you're new to computers, just wait for Coinbase. Coinbase will be announcing Theta as one of the new coins at some point between now and the end of the year. I'm hoping and I'm thinking it's going to happen earlier rather than later, because Theta is really moving up. But when it really gets onto Coinbase, every other crypto exchange is going to bring it on. And then you get visibility, and then people say, hey, what's Theta? It's not a cryptocurrency. It's a token with a currency called Theta Fuel. It's not that complicated, but it increases your broadband, and it's going to be a smart contract platform to rival and beat Ethereum programming in the same language. You can even use the same wallets, truthfully. Interesting. But use them off you got to use it off the Theta blockchain. So go to thetatoken.org and download the wallet. There you have it. Anyway, that's what I got for you today. Hang in there. Silver's doing great. OMG's doing great. Theta's doing great. Crypto's doing great. Get ready for a slam, but we don't care. We're in this for the long haul. And tune in this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern Time for the roundtable at Jean-Claude's channel. I'll talk to you guys later.